It's night and day.
Dissidia Final Fantasy.
Night and day, back again.
Yes, back in the world of Dissidia Final Fantasy.
Yes! There's a new DLC character who's been released. And so we're back to go over everything about him and check out the cutscenes, which probably won't have him, and everything else.
Yeah, we'll get to go see cutscenes with other people in them, and then wonder where he is, just like everything else. So, yeah, we'll beat you guys in there.
It looks like there's a glitch with the Kam'lanaut patch, so we'll have to search for his cutscenes in here to see if they're marking the ones that we've already seen as undone. Maybe they're marking his new ones as done. So we could, check them out and re-see them and show them. So we're gonna figure out this silly mess and we'll show you guys the cutscenes as soon as we have.
Yes. Alright, hopefully we figure this out soon.
Okay, so we have found the mysterious Kam'lanaut cutscenes. They're on this middle path here with Vaughn, Ishtola, and Onion Knight. So
yeah, you can see they're on this middle row here. Yeah,
not the one that we're on, but the one directly to the right of it. So here, this basically the second one on this middle path. So Lord of the Stellar Fulcrum, that is Kam'lanaut.
Yep.
Though Kam'lanaut has no reason to save a world he was suddenly thrust into, he decides there is some merit in fighting if he can gain new powers, and thus raises his blade against the champions, and he also employs new scriptwriters who enjoy partaking in run-on sentences when they're on their way back from this certain blah delivery store jobs that they so enjoy and to experience in their spare time while they are skiing in the winter slopes of Jotunheim!
So Thor is his rider, is what you're saying.
Maybe one of the Warriors 3. Probably not Thor. Anyway, let's check it out.
Alright, yeah, let's dive into this. Yeah, sure, we'll do that.
It says we've already completed it.
Yeah, that's never happened before, though, so. I don't know what is going on. Oh, this is nice.
This is where I grew up.
Not half bad, if I do say so myself.
Vaughn, to our side. Huh? Who's that? Now I know he is no acquaintance of yours.
Greetings, wayfarers. I would like to pose a question, though you may not know the answer.
You're on Spiritus's side, right? He called you here.
You mean dragged me here. Now, how do I leave this place?
The only thing we were told was to collect a bunch of energy.
Energy, you say? How curious. That very matter has been on my mind lately. To think our belligerency begets life force.
Vaughn!
Oh!
Does that not captivate you as well?
I cannot deny that it does.
Then let us indulge each other.
You're fighting? There is little else we can do at present.
Rejoice, for you will not die in vain.
Alright, well, that was a pretty interesting cutscene.
Wow, yeah. He was just, oh, hello. Oh, you seek energy? I'm gonna murder you now.
Kam'lanaut, yeah, he's showing his intelligence. Kam'lanaut is actually a member of a different race, even though he looks human. And we're going to cover that more in his backstory in the next video when we go over his gameplay and backstory. But suffice it to say, he has a good deal of intelligence. He's from a race that considers themselves superior, and they have advanced technologies and a higher knowledge level than most of the other races, if not all the other races in that game. So it looks like there's supposed to be a battle here, but the game is part of this glitch with the cutscene the game is showing that the battle is already won.
Right.
So we can't do that at this point. We're going to have to come in and show you guys that in a later video when this whole
debacle gets fixed, I guess. Yeah, when the bug gets fixed for this DLC. Because, yeah, like we said before, it showed that this was already viewed and whatnot, so...
Yeah.
I guess the implementation just didn't really pan out in this one.
Yeah, so I'm sure there's going to be a patch that fixes this patch in the future, and once that's implemented, we will show you the battle. But in the meantime, we are still going to show you the battles for just general battles and how he plays in the next episode. And while we've got this here, we're going to show you the next cutscene that takes place after the battle.
Yes.
A surprise, the heroes win.
Aw, man. Spoiler alert. Okay.
It would be interesting if canonically some of the villains were so powerful that they canonically won a couple of these fights.
Yeah, that would be really cool.
This power. So this is the Fable purification.
They sniffed out the energy!
We must away.
Not so fast!
We'll never make it!
We will!
You're kidding!
Have courage. Behold, our path lies open before us.
Okay, so each told the expert skydiver uses the other two as a parachute and guides them all into this thing, or she was just going 100% by the skin of her teeth, had no idea what she was doing, and pushed them off, and whatever happens, happens.
Like she didn't see the portal open. Only those two did, so she's just like, well, if we're gonna die, it's gonna be by my, it's gonna be on my terms. Just pushes them off.
I think she was smart enough to have inferred it.
Oh yeah.
Whereas Vaughn, in this game, wow, they're really just
They
not.
really handed it to him on this one.
Yeah, in his original game, Vaughn is pretty naive, and that's part of his character development. And the other characters even like make fun of him at certain times.
Right.
Not throughout the entire game. He's not like only a running joke or anything like that. But there are a few points where the characters are like, "Oh my god, really?" So in this game, though, they take it to a whole new level where he doesn't get a lot.
Yeah, he doesn't get pretty much anything anyone says.
So it's pretty funny. Yeah, that looked awesome. I really like that second cutscene.
Yeah, that just the graphics on that scene were insane. How they use the Plains Gorgers, like that weird pixelation effect. They really like showed it off on that one.
Yeah.
And just the animation of the fighting, as always, is fantastic. So yeah, that was really awesome.
Well, at least Kam'lanaut was actually in the cutscenes for the Kam'lanaut update.
Oh yeah, that's true. So at least, yeah, we got to see the actual person finally in a cutscene, because that's rarely been the case for some reason. But yeah, that'd be cool to see. Especially, I'm curious to see the fight with him. It's just a 3-on-1 kind of thing, it seems like.
They'll probably give him mannequins like they did with Vayne.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, well, at least we'll get to beat up easy people then. But yeah, that should be interesting to see, because I want to see how he how it is to fight against him and whatnot. So that should be cool. But yeah, I like that they actually gave him a spotlight, unlike most of the other ones.
Yeah, it seems like the villains, they're willing to just throw back in time and say, oh, here's when a fight occurred with them. But for the heroes, they're taking the other path and showing them meeting up with everybody at the end. So we'll see if this trend continues, or if they just keep doing that.
Right.
The separation between church and state and heroes and villains in the future.
Yeah, that sounds... Yeah, it should be fun to see for sure if they're gonna lump all of the heroes together like we were thinking before, or if it's just going to be, you know, here you are, he's going to fight, and that's it. Game over.
She's lump, she's lump, she's lump, she's in my hand. Yeah, interesting that Kam'lanaut seemed to understand what the purification was, since there's not necessarily an equivalence in his own game that he's talking about. So I'm not sure why he can... Maybe he's just supposed to be like a upper echelon type character like Sephiroth and the Emperor who can kind of intuit what's going on.
Right.
But anyways, the first cutscene was pretty funny. Onion Knight's, oh, this is... I grew up here. It's like, dude, you're 12. You haven't grown up anywhere. You are not an adult.
Like, he said he grew up here, but it's like, there's nothing. It's just a rock.
Floating rock.
Yeah, it's a floating rock with a waterfall on it. It's like, oh yeah, this is welcome to my childhood home. Like, dude, were you raised by wolves or something?
Yeah, I just dunk my head in and I pull out a fish. That's how I sustain myself.
Home sweet home. This is where I did my homework. It's just one rock.
Yeah, the floating continent is from Final Fantasy 3 and all, but yeah, it's kind of not.
That's amazing.
Doesn't really fit 100%. But anyway, it's really funny.
Yeah. The first one was, I mean, it was a good introduction, I guess, to Kam'lanaut. But obviously, I don't know a lot of the backstory of Kam'lanaut, but he seemed very, very intuitive, like very smart in just the way he was speaking, and also, I guess the information that he was inferring from just hearing of other things.
Yeah, it seemed like he was definitely playing up to the concept of being a higher evolved race sort of thing.
Right.
Where we're going to go, like we said, we're going to go more into that in the next episode when we go over the gameplay and his backstory. And it's pretty interesting. Although a lot of people, honestly, to be honest, weren't really crazy about this character as being added to the game. This is probably the least anticipated of all the characters so far. There's a few reasons for that. We can cover that next time too. But the main concept is, I mean, he's from MMO, which is, alright, it's not as many people played it.
Okay.
Played 11 as the other ones because MMO had the monthly subscription, so and not everyone has the time for those types of games. And then number 2 was, even among the characters from 11, like, they still need to add a villain rep from 11. It doesn't matter if nobody played it.
Right.
Well, that's not true, nobody, but that's an exaggeration. Right. If fewer people played it, it still doesn't matter. They need a villain rep from that game.
Right.
But still, the guy they chose, the fans of 11 probably were looking for more for someone else, like one of the heavier hitting villains in that game, because there's a bunch of villains. Since it's an MMO, it's not as simple as the normal games where there's one main primary antagonist, maybe 2. But in MMOs, there's a bunch as the story continues to develop.
Right.
So probably not he was probably not the highest on very many people's picks.
Wow.
So anyway, he's less anticipated, but the backstory, there's a ton of work they put into it, and it's really interesting. So the story is done really well for his backstory because it's kind of intertwined with the entire backstory of the world of that game. And since it's an MMO, that means there's a lot of thought and work put into it. So we'll cover that more fully in the next episode.
Indeed. So we'll see you guys in the next episode. So you can hear us dive into his backstory, watch some gameplay. It should be a good time. So see you then. It definitely seems like it'll do a lot. Oh, come on. Like, he has a good range there.
Great Wheel is his first... Oh, crushed him.
That was awesome.